Hey everybody, welcome back to another Those Fake Nerds discussion. This time we are talking all about the Microsoft E3 press conference. I'm joined by Starry and some more. How are you guys doing?
Good.
I'm
Good.
good.
Yeah.
So you guys ready to talk a little bit about what Microsoft is showing off at this E3?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of games. Yeah. Let's jump into it.
A lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about. So I guess there's not too much to talk about in terms of this game. We only got a short teaser trailer that, in all honesty, I didn't think made it look amazing, but we got a new Halo game coming out. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, personally, I'm not a huge Halo fan, but I know the impact Halo has on the gaming community as a whole. So I just felt very underwhelmed. I think my most exciting part during the teaser trailer was I was like, "Hey, I've seen that Rhino in the Ice Age movies." That was my
Right,
moment of
right.
experience.
So what about you,
I,
Tamor? I know you were big into Halo back in the day. I remember a lot of like birthday parties and gets-togethers of playing like Xbox system link of Halo.
oh
So
yeah,
what are you thinking
night
about this?
parties. Yeah, that was my shit back when I was 12.
Yeah, like 13, whatever.
But basically, yeah. I mean, I thought it looked cool. Obviously, we get like a very very small glimpse, but it seemed like it was sort of harkening back to Halo 2 or even like Halo 1, stylistically. So I mean,
Right.
I'm super excited. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem like Reach or any of the newer games. It feels almost nostalgic in a way.
Yeah, I think they definitely, if they could choose, they would want to recapture, especially Halo 2, where it was such a massive hit, such a cultural impact for a video game, especially where multiplayer was so big. I'd say it really popularized multiplayer as a whole, not just like for
Mm.
Halo, but like popularized it on consoles.
Yeah.
It was sort of like Quake, but for consoles, same kind of influence there. I love Halo, obviously. I still play the Master Chief Collection to this day. I didn't get super into Halo 5. I will say I was a little disappointed with like how the trailer looked. I thought, especially where the Warthog was like driving, I was like, that looks kind of like shit, actually. It's like you
Yeah.
guys could have rendered this a little better. I don't know, but I'm hopeful, if not impressed.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the kind of thing where the game is so early in development. It's
Mm,
like they need
We need to get
something
something for E3.
right,
We need something
right.
for E3.
Um, so it's like one step better than just being like, "This is coming." Here's here's
That's
the
the
well,
other option was
I
just
we
that
just
last
rendered
scene
it
with the
this
helmet.
afternoon. We didn't have a lot of
Yeah,
time.
They should have just gone the Nintendo route where they have like a famous developer come on stage and go, "Yeah, I have a game," and then fucks off.
that's the problem. No one knows anyone who works at 343. It's not Bungie anymore. This is just
Right.
the
Yeah.
scrubs taking over.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I honestly couldn't name the lead developer at 343. Sorry, I'm sure you're a very nice person, guy, girl. I don't know. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Get
yeah,
out there, media.
they're doing their best. Hopefully, gonna make us proud.
Okay.
All
So
right.
next up, we have a DLC for Cuphead called
Yes.
Delicious Last Course, and I'm super super excited for this. Um, it's coming out in 2019, so we have a bit of a wait, but it
Mm.
makes sense because they have to fucking draw every frame.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
that's a big thing, right? Like
yeah,
that's a hard part for this game. They can't just bump these DLCs out.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so it's going to feature a new character named Miss Chalice.
Well, she's not technically a new character. She's a character who was already in the game.
Oh yeah, but
And
she
you
was
remember,
the
you have to rescue her, and they're making her
Mm.
into a playable character.
Right. So you get to play as the Chalice now, and yeah, I mean it's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna be really really fun. Hopefully it'll be like a new challenge, maybe even harder than like some of the bosses in the first game. And yeah, I'm curious what this company's gonna do after that
Mhm.
because I don't know. I mean, I was always wondering what they would do, and this DLC obviously I'm super excited for, but I'm wondering how they'll branch off after this massive hit that was so unexpected. But at least for now, I'm like super stoked for the
Right.
Cuphead.
I'd imagine Microsoft's going to pay them a lot of money to draw a little faster. Make Cuphead 2.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Don't do that, Sony. Or not Sony.
Microsoft.
Whoever, yeah, that.
Yeah.
They're like, this is all we have. Draw. Did you see that Halo trailer?
Yeah. True.
Oh man! So what's next on our agenda here?
So next up we have a new tale in the Life is Strange universe called the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, and we got a pretty hefty trailer for that. It's kind of a very telling trailer.
Maggie, you want to take the lead on this one?
So it's actually coming out June 26th, so really, really soon, and it is a fully free-to-play game that is meant to help expand the universe for the second game in the series, Life is Strange 2.
Cool.
Basically, what they want to do with the game is mostly so far focused around these characters named Chloe and Max, and they want to sort of expand even farther beyond them. So this is sort of like our first taste, our first step in the world without those characters and without these teenager point of views. It takes place in the view of a little boy, and it seems very centered around his life and how he sort of deals with his problems, like bullying at school, his dad's drinking problem, and incorporating that child imagination into it. So it looks really cute and really interesting. And again, it's completely free to play. So if you like things that are free, I fully recommend it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm pretty excited. I played the first Life is Strange, and I played most of the second one. And yeah, I mean, it's awesome that this is going to be free and that they're expanding the universe. It's really awesome. I am a little bit nervous that they're gonna expand it to the point where it's gonna, I don't know, it might change, the feel of it, because the first one, it felt very intimate, even though you had this sort of, I mean, you could, for lack of a better word, a superpower. You had a character who had this ability to sort of rewind time, and it was almost like the Butterfly Effect, starring Ashton Kutcher, but in my opinion, a lot better. But then the second game, or the prequel, there was no superpowers at all, and it's much more based in reality, but explaining a lot of like backstory for the character. And this new one seems like it's setting up a universe where there's certain characters with superpowers, almost X-Men-esque. So I'm a little nervous that it's going to go into that territory, like the X-Men territory, whereas right now it's in the territory of like
something kind of interesting that I just thought of is it looks like that a lot of these powers stem from different forms of creativity. Like this kid who likes to draw and create this comic book character, right? And that's what Captain Spirit is, and that's sort of where maybe his power will come from. Whereas in Max's case, she was a photographer, and her, we take a photo, capture that moment forever. So it's sort of like, that'd be a cool little thing if that's true.
A good point. Yeah.
Cool.
I'd actually really like that. That'd be a really cool tie-in.
Awesome. Well, it'll definitely be something to look forward to. When did you say this is coming out again, for anyone who might be interested?
June 26th.
All right, guys. That's right around the corner. That's only a few days from now, so you have some time to play the first game and then get caught up so you can play this.
Yeah.
All right, Tamur, what is next?
So next we have Crackdown 3, which unfortunately has been delayed again.
Is that still coming out? Is
it ever? Yeah, I don't know. Apparently it is.
Maybe it's all a ploy just to get Terry Crews to do funny stuff.
Perhaps.
It doesn't actually exist.
I mean, Kingdom Hearts is finally coming out, so you can't, in terms of delays, you can't get any later than them. So,
That's
also
fair.
True. I'm looking really forward to Crackdown 3. It's that game. It's just so much. It's balls to the walls. It's nuts, and it's and it's testicles. Whatever else.
Yeah,
balls.
it's a game that really built off being the only way to play the Halo 3 beta. They've done well enough for themselves.
Oh yeah.
So, I look forward to it. I don't have anything else to play on my Xbox, so May as well get it if it ever comes out.
Yeah, 2019 apparently.
All right. What is next?
You want to go for it?
Gears of War? I don't know anything about Gears
okay.
of
So
War.
yeah, so Gears of War 5 was announced. The next installment in the Gears of War franchise. I think I've played every Gears of War at this point. So
Well, you play Gears of War Pop. That's the real question.
Will I play?
Almost got
Fuck
us with
no.
that one. I don't play Gears of War, but I just kind of felt my heart hit my stomach when like they were showing the Gears of War thing. Even in the pre-show, they were like, "Oh, we're so excited for Gears of War," and then pop Funko, and I'm like,
That was bad. Well, what about Gears of War Tactics? I'm at least a little interested in that, especially when it comes to the PC.
What is it?
It's basically, XCOM. It's basically like a strategy war game, but they're gonna have the Gears of War characters in it.
Blood versus okay.
I do have a question about the Gears of War. Have the previous games had a female protagonist?
No, Marcus Phoenix is the protagonist, and then in Gears of War 4, the main protagonist is Marcus's son.
Right.
Okay, so this seems to be sort of switching to a character who isn't part of that line.
Well, no, she is. So in Gears of War 4, she's like with you the whole game. She's like your childhood friend.
What I mean is that she's not like related to the main characters directly. It's like she's a side character who's now stepping into the role of a main character.
Yeah, I don't remember if she's related by blood, but she's like almost a sister type character to Marcus's son.
Right.
It's like Marcus abandons his son at a certain point. Anyway, but at the end of spoilers, at the end of Gears of War 4, it's revealed that her mother was like somehow connected to the Flood, or not the Flood, the
Locust?
baddies in that game. The Locust, yeah.
The Flood,
And,
that's Halo.
Yeah, somehow she's connected to the Flood and Halo. It's all
It's all one, actually.
Yeah.
And Terry Crews comes in yelling.
Yeah. That'd be great, actually. I could see him.
That'd be wonderful.
Roll. But yeah, so this looks exciting. I mean, I was the cliffhanger at the end of 4 was definitely like, holy crap! I'm surprised that they're, where they're going with this. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they're going to take it for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I know nothing about Gears of War, so it got me interested in the series. I mean, it's definitely the character that it's about looks really interesting. It looks like there's a lot of really interesting story-like stuff going on. So I may have to put the series down.
She's cool. I always played her in multiplayer.
Awesome.
Character in that. Yeah.
All right, so is next up Forza Horizon 4?
Yeah.
All right, so Forza is a racing game, and I don't think any of us play that. But if you like driving cars, you'll like this game, probably. So
yeah, graphics look good. Alex, do you play Drake? No, Alex is here too.
Only play if they have a
Alex has played racing
no
games. Okay. All right, moving on.
Please.
So what do we got? Studios next?
Let's do Cyberpunk. Let's do that.
We're going to keep it with games first. Yeah. All right, so at the end of the press conference, just as they were ending, they were hacked by CD Projekt Red, and hacked. And they put out the first trailer to their new game, Cyberpunk 2077, the first game after The Witcher 3, which many consider to be one of the greatest games of all time. I know Alex does. Yeah. So I'm excited for it. I still need to play the Witcher games, so hopefully I'll have time to play those before 2077 comes out.
Aesthetically gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Like just neon and all the colors. It looks gorgeous. So I'm excited for that.
And like
I know it's good.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone knows it's going to be a good game. There's like no question.
They put love and effort into what they did.
I'm trying to think of something together, but I can't right now.
Yeah, I mean, it looks very different from the Witcher series, just because it's
oh yeah.
Looks like it's like a down and dirty version of Back to the Future.
Ooh, I
Right.
like that. Yeah.
Like it doesn't, from the trailer, it doesn't look like it's going to be too serious or take itself too seriously,
Oh, yeah.
kind of like The Witcher does. But it's going to be fun and gritty still.
Yeah.
But,
It almost looks like GTA to me.
yeah,
GTA
GTA in the
has.
future.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm excited for it. I'm all for that type of game.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Don't say that. It's way prettier than GTA. Don't say that. Please, no.
Hey, GTA is like one of the top selling games of all time.
That doesn't mean it's pretty to look at.
Well, anyways. So, Kingdom Hearts, I believe, is next. I've never played Kingdom Hearts. I associate Kingdom Hearts with the PlayStation more than the Xbox, but we got a lot of Kingdom Hearts footage at this press conference. Maggie, I would imagine you want to tackle this one.
Yeah, so it was definitely a surprise to get a Kingdom Hearts trailer. A lot of people would have expected it on the Square Enix conference or Sony conference, but I guess Xbox just really needed, stuff, so they probably put in a bid for it or something.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, part of the reason why they did it is that this is actually the first time that a Kingdom Hearts game is coming to Xbox. In the past, they've either come to a Nintendo console of some kind, or they've come to. So it's a really big move for them to get such a beloved game that has such an intense fan base. I was freaking out because we got a really good look at all like the casual stuff where it was like we got to see more of the Disney characters, we got to see Rapunzel, and we got to see Elsa.
Frozen girl. Yeah.
Salsa.
Elsa, yeah.
Elsa.
That's the name.
I'm sorry, I haven't seen Frozen. I don't.
That's okay, you're not missing
Got to see
anything.
Buzz Lightyear. We got to see the Frozen Girl. It's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be really good. We got to see more Kingdom play. I'm not looking forward to the return of the gummy ship, which if you play the Kingdom Hearts games, you would know that.
I played the first one, so isn't that?
Yeah, it is. That's how they travel between universes.
Mm.
Oh no! What happens? Okay, we're okay. But it looks like it's going to be really good. We saw Aqua, very important character. She's been through some shit. You see Donald and Goofy getting all excited because they get to see Mickey and stuff. So it's really exciting, and it's going. I'm really hyped for it. Everyone was definitely losing in the communities I am. They were losing their mind about it. So good. It looks incredible. I can't wait.
It will certainly be interesting to see because it's been 13 years since the last Kingdom Hearts game. How popular is the franchise still going to be? What are the sales going to look like? Has the time off let enough people learn about it? Because it has kind of still been in the zeitgeist. Like they put out remasters and collections and stuff.
Yeah, they definitely put out. They constantly are putting out remasters and stuff, so that way people can play it on consoles that don't have backward compatibility. It's definitely still as popular as it was, if not more popular, because people, even on Twitch, you constantly see people replaying the old games. And there's so many games, there's so much. If you're into lore, it's great. If you're into good gameplay, it's great. If you're just into really weird interactions between Final Fantasy and Disney characters, it's great. I think there's like a whole level where like Cloud fights Hercules or something.
Right.
If I remember right. It's a really good series, and it's definitely extremely popular. The fans are definitely diehard, and it's been a long time, but there are a lot of people who have been waiting for this because they pre-ordered it the second it was announced.
But
So,
play devil's advocate. So I played the first one, and I also played like the Game Boy. There was a Game Boy game as well.
there were several Game Boy games. There were Game Boy games, 3DS games. No, 3DS,
been a
but
bunch,
DS
yeah.
games. There's a lot of them. There's
Yeah, so I was an OG fan back when it came out on like PS2, PS1 even.
Right.
And yeah, I mean I was a big fan then, but honestly I don't know if I'll pick up the new one because it's been so long, and I do think it has become, the fan base is still strong, but it is a base. It's very niche. Not very niche, but it is a bit niche, and it's like, some people they'll play every Final Fantasy game because they're a Final Fantasy fan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, I probably won't pick it up because there's so many other games that are coming out.
Yeah,
and
I mean, even if you're a player, though, it kind of has that advantage of having these Disney characters that people are familiar with.
And there's probably a whole new, audience. And now that they have Elsa, there's going to be a whole new audience.
Now that they have Rapunzel.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any, or rather, is there any concern in the community that, like, hey, we've been anticipating this game for so long, we want it to be good so bad that even if it's not like a 10 out of 10, people are gonna be like, this is shit, or this wasn't worth the wait, like.
Yeah, I think there has been a little bit concerned that there have been people who have actually already, they had an event where people were able to play some of the levels. And from what we've heard so far, it was worth the wait, basically. From what I've seen, the graphics look beautiful. Like, it looked like, if you look at some of the scenes from the Toy Story that people have played, it looks like you're in the Toy Story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas it looks so good. Personally, I do think it will be worth the wait, even if it's not absolutely perfect in everything. I think that they definitely put a lot of love in making something because they know. I mean, it's sort of like Persona 5 in the sense that, yes, their community is niche, but people who love it really love it and will die for it.
Right.
So it's something that has a lot of nostalgia and a huge place in a lot of people's hearts.
Cool.
No pun intended.
Speaking of a game that has a place in people's hearts, the Division 2 was announced. Brian, I know the Division.
Big Division fan. I loved what we saw. I like the change of scenery, especially because the Division 1 set in New York, set in November. It's super snowy and dreary. This seems to be set in the middle of the summer. In Washington, D.C., like after 6 months after the virus, I don't know if it's going to be the same virus from the first game, has decimated Washington, D.C., and nature seems to be taking it back over. It looks great. Granted, the Division 1 is one of those games where people are like, look at the E3 trailer versus the real thing. It doesn't look as good, so can't really say. This seemed to be pretty deep into the game, too. Level 30 is the last level you get near the end game of the Division. That's what they were getting in this trailer, so I'm interested to see where this little slice fits into the overall game, but I'm excited. I'm going to temper my excitement until I see more, though, because I don't want to get too pumped and then be disappointed by it,
I mean, I don't play it, but
it looked good. I just never got it.
Yeah, well, maybe if it's on sale, we can get it for
like
PC and play it together, Alex. It's a really great co-op game.
I know one of the biggest complaints, I was watching Starrykosmik, one of her biggest complaints was the person who's running Starrykosmik this year, was that there were a lot of issues with just not having a player base after a while. Like, it just, kind of died down, so that was the biggest complaint, that it didn't have enough longevity.
Yeah, so I never had that problem because I played with Jenny, my friend Dave, and my friend Emily. So it was groups of 4, and so we just always played the 4 of us together. So I never had the issue of like, oh, there's no one to get matched with to play this mission. I would imagine if you're playing solo and you don't want to be, though, it's like any game, like it starts off, people play it, people beat all of it, people leave, they move on to the next game. But because it was a game that relied for certain modes, such as the Dark Zone, on a big player base, people kind of played it, beat it, moved on, and that kind of hurt the game overall for people who didn't get it right away. Like I said, it didn't bother me too much. One, I didn't love the Dark Zone. The Dark Zone was really fun in the beta because people didn't care if they lost their stuff because it was a beta. So people were running around, killing each other, and then that person was becoming like a target for everyone else to go kill. And it was super fun. And it was fun to just do that and try to hold out for as long as you can. But then once actual like things became at stake, people didn't want to do that as much. so it really like stifled the gameplay in the Dark Zone meta. Because no one wanted to lose their stuff, because it's really hard to get stuff in the Dark Zone. So I'd say that is where it was hurt the most. I know you both froze.
Changed.
Okay,
Are we frozen?
you're back now.
Because we were talking shit about Elsa.
Oh.
Cool.
All right, so next up.
You want to talk about Dying Light?
So Dying Light, I didn't actually play the first one, though I have listened to a lot of stuff about what people are thinking about the new one. So apparently the first one was just pretty much like a parkour zombie adventure game. And at night, zombies would get a little harder. But mostly it was a zombie apocalypse. This game looks like it's going to be more just like post-apocalyptic let me rephrase that. This game looks like it's going to be more of a post-apocalyptic game in general, where your adversaries aren't necessarily the undead, but instead the other NPCs and more like human characters. And then at night, the monsters are going to come out. And I think the big draw for this game is this like supposedly a huge branching storyline where every decision you make is going to impact your game, and then that's going to present other decisions that when you make those decisions, they'll change everything. So I think that's the real hook here. Tamur, have you played any of these games in the past or any of the previous games the studio has made?
So I haven't played Dying Light 1 personally, but I played Dead Island, so I think I did play Dying Light, essentially.
Right.
Made by the same company.
Mm-hmm.
Basically the same premise. I think the only addition is
Parkour.
the nighttime thing. But
Nighttime.
even looking at the footage, I think if someone was to look at the footage, they would think it was, the same,
Right.
thing. But so you're saying that they're going to improve the story in this next game?
That's what it seems to be more of a narrative focus in this.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, personally, after playing Dead Island, I think it was probably the weakest game that I played according to story, and I don't have a lot of confidence that they're going to write a really great story. If anything, it'll be super cliche and awful dialogue and stuff like that. I mean, that's just based off of my
keeping it 100 right now.
Yeah, just throwing shade at them. But yeah, after their previous games, I don't have a lot of confidence in their storytelling.
Oof.
Throw shade.
They do make good trailers, though.
Yeah,
that Dead Island
I
trailer
mean,
is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Dead Island was pretty fun, especially toward the beginning when you're still like, it's balancing like the zombie outbreak on this like tropical island. It was like a really nice contrast. The colors, the fucking like blood red, and then just like beach balls and like the blue ocean and stuff like that. It actually looked so nice. There was times where I would be like, man, I really want to play that game again, even though it was like, the story was so like pointless and dumb, but still fun in parts.
All right. Well, as we have been talking about, Microsoft's real struggle this generation is exclusives. They're looking to remedy that, and they purchased 3 studios. They purchased actually a few studios, but these are the big 3 that I wanted to bring up.
They purchased 5.
Yeah, they purchased 5, but these are the big 3 that I wanted to touch on. Undead Studios, creators of Dead by Daylight 1 and 2. Ninja Theory, most recently they created Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. And then Senua's Sacrifice.
Great purchase.
And then Compulsion Games, We Happy Few is the game, which isn't even out yet. Right? So what are your thoughts on this kind of bold move for Microsoft?
I think it's really smart on their part. I mean, they've felt very stagnant for a little while now, and even looking at the games that we've been talking about, they're all sequels. They're all like
Gears of War 5, Halo 6.
Yeah. Forza 4, Crackdown 3. Yeah. There's really, besides like Cuphead, there hasn't been any originality, and it seems like including these smaller developers is really going to be like, here's some new stuff that you guys,
Yeah, I mean, they definitely. I think it's definitely a smart move for them, especially where I don't know if you guys friends. They were hinting that they have started development on a new console. So we're, if they're going to be coming out with a new console, they are going to need exclusive games to get people to buy them.
Yeah, these
you
are
do not want to
all probably
Xbox One.
Xbox 2 games that we're looking at from these studios, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Xbox 2.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at Xbox as a company right now, I think they definitely have found something with their smaller indie games. Look at something they talked about too was Ori. So that game that I think was originally only on PC. I don't remember if it was on Xbox, but they're definitely saying, okay, these smaller indie companies, there is something to them. They have fresh ideas. They have fresh, they can bring something new that otherwise we might not be able to get, that can pull people in. They can get fandoms. They can build, So I think that's most likely where they're going with this.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely do recall Ori being on Xbox. I like it. I think the one I'm most excited about is Ninja Theory. I think given the resources, they could make a really cool game. And that's what they need. They need an original, cool exclusive to get people to be like, oh, I want to buy this new Xbox, I think there are some people who are into the specs and they like the Xbox because it's the most powerful console ever made, whatever. But I don't think that's enough to bring the majority of gamers over. I think the only thing that's going to bring are the games and their friends, and the only way their friends are going to buy it is if you have games,
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of like when you compare, I hate to do this, but when you compare Microsoft to Nintendo doesn't have the best specs, but it does so well because it has the games, it has the titles that go, okay, I can only get this here.
They have 3 games that are worth
No, I get what you're saying, because I'm going to buy a Switch just for Pokemon.
It's like Mario, new Mario, Zelda, and,
Pokemon.
Yeah, the new Pokemon.
Games, they have Splatoon, they have...
I've been pushing that so hard.
But the thing is that they're always able to bring something fresh and new to those franchises. So it's not like you're playing the same game over and over, where it's I don't know, just something, just as a basic example, I don't know if Division 2, but the Division 2 is, even if it's a completely different game, it's still going to be basically the same game, if that makes sense. It's not like where you have Breath of the Wild versus, little Zelda puzzle games. They do other things with their franchises, even if it has the same title.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just an example that it's something that, people will buy whatever Nintendo console play, specifically Nintendo games. Where Microsoft just doesn't have that yet. They're working on it.
So we'll see, and we'll see soon. Sony, they have the games, they have their exclusives, and I think their press conference is going to be pretty big this year, where they're going to focus mainly on their exclusives. And right now, people are saying Microsoft really knocked it out of the park at the time of recording. I wonder what the buzz will be if Sony comes out and really does a great job showing off their games.
That's the thing too, is that it's hard. I feel like Microsoft in general, something I was talking about with someone who works in the industry, was that Microsoft seems to have this disconnect with its audience, where the CEOs and those kind of people, it kind of goes back to, I know it's been a while now, but the Xbox One, they don't fully understand what their audience wants when it comes to presentations and that kind of thing. So I think they're definitely trying to get closer, especially since, they didn't have to bring a car out on stage this year. But definitely, it'll be interesting. I think they did, personally, I'm not usually a Microsoft fan, I think they did really well compared to previous years. And it will be interesting to see how they hold up when compared to Sony, which we'll be seeing later tonight, and Nintendo, which we'll be seeing on Tuesday.
Cool. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you check out the rest of our E3 coverage. I'm Brian.
I'm Starry.
And I'm Tamur.
And thanks for watching, everybody.